Hey guys, this is Ray Lesson here, and I'm Ray. So my friend's going to be going over his Vylon deck in this video, and so I broke it up into a couple of parts. So there's going to be 8 parts. The first part is main deck overview. Second part, some monsters explained. Third part, extra deck overview. 4, rest of deck explained. 5, Thunder King explained. 6, Vylon combo explained. 7, extra deck explained, and finally 8, side deck explained. So thanks for watching, guys, and have fun. He's gonna go over his Vylon deck.
Alright guys, so this is a Vylon deck. So basically I've been testing this deck for 8 months now, and I think this is the best build on the internet, so here we go. So I'll go over explanations afterwards. So 2 Sidras, 2 Thrasher, 2 Trident, 3 Cube, 3 Prism, 2 Sphere, 1 Tetra, 2 Thunder Kings. I'll explain this. Honest, because they're all light. Gores, saves your ass. Sangan, you can search pretty much anything. Summoner Monks, hella good because all these are spells. Now spells, we have the staples. 1 MST, I want to run more but I can't really find room. Rhoda, we can search the Thrashers and the Trident Warrior. Mind Control, this card is so good. Violent Matter, 2 Elements, a Chaos, and then for the Vylon Eclipse, 3 Violent Material, 2 Filaments, Component, and a Segment. Alright, so let's go over the explanations now. Do you have any questions or?
Not so far.
Not so far? Alright.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about the Trident.
Oh yeah, the Trident. Yeah. I'll go over that later. Alright.
And no traps, huh?
No traps. Yeah. I cite Decree, but yeah, we'll go over that later. Alright. So we have these 4 cards. They pretty much all have the same effect except this one is, you know, a warrior, so I can search it with Rhoda, and it's a 4-star. And then we have the Trident Warriors. Now, I used to run 3 Photon Thrashers and 3 Cyber Dragons, but then I found out that because of these summoning conditions, sometimes I get in trouble, like mid-game, late game. When I already have something on the field, I can't use Thrasher because of the summoning condition, and I have to tribute for Cyber Dragon, and really that caused me to lose a bunch of duels. And now I run Trident Warrior. Trident Warrior basically has the same effect as Photon Thrasher when you have Cube in your hand, because the effect is when you normal, I can special summon a level 3 monster, which is Cube, and then I sync for an extra deck card, which I'll go over later. But basically, this card gets over the summoning condition of Photon Thrasher, and pretty much I feel like it's a good card. Sure, maybe early game this card is a little bit better, but towards mid and late, you're really going to want the Trident Warriors. Should I go over extra deck really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, sure. Alright, so for extra deck, we have an Omega, Alpha, Epsilon, Scrap Dragon, yeah, Stardust, Black Rose, 2 Sigmas, Delta, TG Hyper Librarian, Vylon Disigma, Shockmaster, a Maestro, Tempo, this one's duels, and a Wind-Up Zen Mains.
Okay, so you run Cyber Dragon, so no Chimera Tech?
No, Chimera Tech is in my side deck, which I'll go over later. Yeah,
that's good.
Alright, so we went over these. Now we're going to go over the tuners. This is the main tuner of the deck. Basically, when this card is synced for a light monster, specifically my Vylon cards, I get to get an equip card to my hand, and I have 7 equip cards in this deck, so basically I can search for any of those 7. And so this card is the best tuner of the deck. You're really gonna want this, and if you get this and a couple other equip cards, you pretty much have the lockdown down, which I'll go over later. Then you have your 3 Vylon Prisms. Basically the effect is, well, these are 4-star tuners, 4-star light tuners. Basically the effect is when this goes to the graveyard from the field, you can pay 500 life points and equip it to a monster, and it gains 1000 attack whenever it attacks or whenever it gets attacked. So if you want to go sync for a Stardust, you can get a 3500 attack Stardust, or a 3800 attack Scrap Dragon, or a Vylon Epsilon. Now, these 3 cards, these are also tuners. You have Sphere, which is a 1-star, and Tetra, which is 2-star. You basically do not want to draw into this. If you draw into this, I don't know, it's not that good. Because I'll go over the loop later, but you really want these when it comes down to the loop, because you need specific number of cards to, you know, synchro for 10 stars. So you're gonna want like a 7 stars Vylon Sigma, and then you're gonna want 2 of these so that you can sync. 7 plus 3 is 10. You get Vylon Omega out. And so basically you don't want to draw into these, you want to search them via Vylon Element. Now, Thunder Kings, I'll go over this later because a lot of people, I have not seen any deck that runs Thunder King in a Vylon on the internet, and I'll go over this later because this is one of the key cards of the deck. Honest, obviously, all these are light. Gores, I can't really explain that. It's just saves you a lot of times.
Running no traps, so it's more live.
Yeah, exactly. Sangan, search your Summoner Monk, search your all your Vylon tuners. So Sangan really helps. And then your Summoner Monks, this is kind of obvious, you know.
It's good.
With Summoner Monk, you can synchro or you can overlay, etc. Staples, I'm not gonna go over. Now Rhoda, you get your Thrashers and your Trident Warriors. Now Mind Control. Mind Control basically is such a good card of the deck. When you have let's see, like Alias, Neos, or whatever that elemental hero is, or when you have a Thunder King that your opponent controls, you basically mind control that. You use a Vylon tuner and then you can sync for one of your Vylon cards, or even if they have anything, you can pretty much sync with it as long as it's not an Exceed, and it really crushes your opponent. And I feel like mind control is just like a key card of the deck. Yeah,
good card.
Vylon Matter. A lot of decks run 2, but the reason I only run 1 is because this card pretty much recycles. You select 3 equipped spell cards in your graveyard, return them to the deck, and then you can either draw a card or pop a card on the field. And basically, a lot of decks run 2, but if you draw into this before your loop, then basically it's a dead draw and it's dead weight, and you don't really want it. Yeah. And then 2 Vylon Elements. Basically, this card, I'll just read it to you. When any face-up Vylon equipped card you control are destroyed except during the damage step, you can special summon an equal or lower number of Vylon tuner monsters from your deck. They cannot be used as a synchro material monster except for a Vylon card. So basically, spam Vylon tuners. The only reason I run 2 is because it can be MST'd and then you'd be screwed. So just, yeah. And then you have your Chaos. This card sucks in any condition except for the loop, which you actually need this for the loop. Basically, it's when you equip this to a monster, all other cards that target the card are destroyed, or when it comes to spell cards. So like if I equip this to Thunder King and I equip Vylon Material to Thunder King, then this gets destroyed because it targets Thunder King. And so these give it 600 attack. This becomes an Ancient Gear Dragon. No Deep Prison, no Mirror Force. And then we have the component, which gives it piercing. And then this card, no target by spells, no target by traps or monsters. So, alright, Thunder King. So Thunder King, a lot of people assume because this deck searches so much, because all these Vylon equipped cards, at the bottom line it says, if this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Vylon spell card from your deck to your hand. So basically it conflicts with Thunder King, right? And you also have Rhoda, which conflicts with Thunder King, and you have Sangan, which conflicts with Thunder King. But when it comes down to it, a smart player will play cards not at the same time, but will play cards, you know, when it play cards in order, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you're gonna have your Thunder King out on the field, and then it's probably gonna stay on the field for quite a while, enough to get a tuner to your hand. Then you get the tuner, you sync for your
Go Bananas.
Go Bananas, yeah. All right. So let's just go over a quick explanation of the loop for those who don't know how the loop works.
Okay.
So basically, this deck can plus 20 at max, which is quite a lot. So basically, if you get this to your hand, if you have this, that. If you have this in your hand, it doesn't matter what other cards you have. If you go first, you pretty much have the lockdown down.
Okay.
So basically, we're gonna have Trident Warrior, special effect. You're syncing. This effect is when you special summon for a tuner, or sorry, synchro, light synchro, which is gonna be Sigma. You get to get a tuner, equipped card to your hand. So I get this equipped card. Remember, this card, when I equip these, they get destroyed. When they get destroyed, I get to search for a Vylon spell card. So one, I'm gonna search for one of the Vylon Filament or Vylon equip card. Another, I'm going to search for an element. And then I equip this to this. This gets destroyed. Element effect goes off, which means I can special summon a cube or any other tuner I like. And then I get to search for another one. I go over and over again until basically what it comes down to, because we don't have much time, is we're going to have a Zen Mains. We're going to have a Shockmaster, if I can find one. Shockmaster or Disigma, whatever you need at the moment. And then we're gonna have an Omega. And basically Omega is a walking effect veiler. You know Zen Mains and Shockmaster. Now, so that's, and like I really like this deck because you have your loop, but if you can't get your loop off because of your Summoner Monks, what you can do is you can go into Prism, you can go into your 4-star Synchros, and basically you just have so much this deck is so versatile because of the Cyber Dragons and because of the amount of tuners you run in your deck. And so just quick extra deck explanations. Shockmaster is quite obvious. Disigma is quite obvious. Disigma can get over those really big monsters because you just equip it. I don't really have time to go over the effect, but yeah, basically you have that. You have your Tempo gets over your Zen mains, which is in my graveyard. Yeah, Zen mains is just it's just annoying. Yeah. And then your Maestro, no Utopia, because if you get Utopia, you're pretty much screwed anyway. So Maestro is pretty good.
Maestro's good.
Yeah. And then you have Sigmas, 7-star.
Can you go over your side deck really quickly?
Yeah, side deck.
Okay.
Sure.
Come here, attack and stuff.
All right. So for big beaters, we have Leviathan.
Interesting. Okay.
And a Gem Knight. I would run Maxi, but according to the supposed ban list in March, windups are gonna get hit, and levels are pretty inconsistent, so I don't really need Maxi at the moment. But if they still are pretty good, then I'm gonna tech in Maxi. Then we're gonna have the side draw, obviously, from machines. Interesting choice. It looks really cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
It can win games.
It can actually win games. Like Light Sworns, Light Rays. Pretty much you won the game if you get that out. And then you have your big beaters against your big beaters. You have your Spear Reaper, Neospatian, Dark Bribe. Just when the time's necessary. And then you have 2 Decrees. I don't think 3 is just. I think 3 is just cloggy. 2 is enough. And then you have your 2 Noblemans for just worms.
It's overall pretty good.
Yeah.
Soul Taker
is quite obvious. And then your MSTs.
Interesting. Okay.
And and then quickly, TJ Hybrid Librarian. You can sync like crazy in this deck. And then your Delta. This card, when at the end of your turn, if this card's in defense position, get a equip card to your hand. So basically, this is just a stall. And then you have your Black Rose. You can get into you can go into level 3 so easily in this deck. So Black Rose, Stardust, Summoner Monk. Let's see, Vylon Cube and Cyber Dragon, Vylon Prism, and Photon Thrasher. You can go into level 4s. All 3 of these. Level 8s. All 3 of these level 8s really quickly. And then you have your Alpha, which is a 9-star, which is basically when you get Prism and Cyber Dragon to your hand.
Hey, so this looks like a pretty darn fun deck to play.
Yeah. If you get into the ideal hand, you pretty much won. Like, you have a lockdown, you have a walking effect Veiler, you have a Shockmaster. Your opponent really can't do anything. So, this deck is actually pretty fast, considering that it's a hidden Arsenal deck. Yeah, hidden Arsenal decks suck, but this deck is actually quite interesting to play because of all the ways you can get out your Exceeds and your Synchros. And
something I watch out for, like maybe when you're doing your play, is that if they max seed, then it's kind of,
Well, I mean, that's true, but then, Maxi. But most of the people nowadays don't main Maxi, they actually side it.
I've seen it tech though, it's interesting.
Yeah, if it's, I mean, sometimes, if they maxi, then I go for a different play. Like, I don't have to just spam these synchros. I can just quickly go into like a Zen mains or something, wait a turn for them to use up their maxi, and then I can just go into the loop again. It's not that big of a deal if maxi gets thrown on the field. I can actually deal with it pretty easily. I've hit it before, and really maxi is the least of your worries. And yeah, that's basically it.
So yeah, this looks like a pretty fun deck to play. So I'll see you guys around. This is Ray Lested here, and I'm Ray, and this is my friend.
No name.
Yeah, no name. So,
all right. Peace, guys.
See you guys.